What's going on, guys and sandwich makers? It is Truckmaster. Welcome back to another video, and today I'm gonna do something a little bit different. Like usually I tell something and now I'm gonna tell something, but now I'm gonna tell an actual story, so that will be quite exciting, I guess. So actually, let's get into it. It's a story from the Second World War, and yes, I said that pretty weird, but it's okay. Now, it's basically a story released during the World War, and some sources say like 2 years or 1 year after that. But in each case, it doesn't matter. It's quite an interesting story, and I have never done this before. Keep that in mind. So if it doesn't sound interesting, then I'm sorry. I really have to. It's just kind of an experiment. Like you're my experimental rabbits. But so let's get into it. So basically, there's this guy called Peter Williams, and he's flying in a Spitfire. Now, Spitfires were pretty well-known planes in the, or like from the British Airways. Wow, British. Like Air Force, they were pretty well-known fighters because they were pretty fast and agile, and so basically he wasn't that, and he thought like, well, it's gonna be all fine. I'm just gonna go home, and then I'm gonna fly home, and then when I land, I'll just taxi to my parking place, and then I'll mention like to other people like, hey, could you help me out? Because yeah, I lost my leg, and then they're gonna be laughing. But actually, he did lost his leg. So that happened because of a flag. Like flags are anti-air guns, and they're not like very kind to your leg. So he lost one of those. It was pretty unfortunate. But he thought like, well, it's all gonna be okay. I'm just gonna land, and then it's just gonna be a joke. But nah, it's not gonna go like that. Well, because suddenly he felt a little bit like dizzy, and he looked down at his leg, or where his leg used to be, and was a big pile of blood. So he was like, okay, well, shit. He actually saw or looked at the altimeter and saw he was like well above the ground, but he was getting pretty dizzy, so he thought like, well, I'm not gonna make it, so I'll better bail out. He turned around the plane, and he basically bailed out and pulled his parachute, and that's all he can remember. So yeah, the next thing he remembers is that he woke up in hospital. And like he looks at the ceiling, and I don't know, he was pretty disoriented, like how the fuck, what? And like all these wounds were well almost healed, and basically then a nurse came in, and he asked like, what the fuck is this? Like, oh yeah, you've been knocked out pretty long, you know. And he was like, okay then, so how is everyone doing? Well, she said, everyone's doing fine. Your squadron really wanted to visit you, but I couldn't let that happen because you were just too weak. And he was like, well, okay then. So long story short, she said like, well, if you need any help, just ring on the bell I have placed next to your bed, and I will be there. So well, that done, he actually started to wonder like, well, what I'm gonna do now. So basically he had some kind of book, or he asked the nurse to bring him a book, and basically what happened after that is that he couldn't concentrate because he was just thinking quite a lot. And so he laid the book away, and he listened, and then he heard a Junkers U-88, and he was like, wait, is that a Junkers U-88? And that's, by the way, a German fighter, or that was a German fighter. And he was like, he listened, yeah, that engine sound, that can only be those fighters. So basically, he asked the nurse the next time she came in, like, how can that be? She was like, no, you're tripping, dude. You're really tripping. So it was like, well, okay then. And, well, he basically like started to think a lot more, because he just couldn't get the thought off his mind like that there was such a plane, because he was just too sure it was Junkers U-88, not 8 but 88, it doesn't matter. Anyways, next thing he started to do the next morning after he hasn't slept, he was like, well, why are the curtains closed? So basically what he did, he was a little bit suspicious, like, so what he did is he clumped to the window, but he lost his leg, remember? So like that wasn't cured yet, but anyways, basically he crawled to the window and he was in pain, but as he looked outside he saw a sign that said "Garde au chien," and that's France for beware of the dog. I was like, wait, France, isn't that like from the Germans? Or that how? And so he quickly realized that it was a captured man. Then he realized, okay, what should I do now? So basically, he clumped back into his bed, and the nurse came in, and she said that there was gonna be a doctor coming. So, or like not a doctor, but someone to ask him what happened. And basically, it was like, well, okay, he didn't mention his suspicions, suspicious thoughts. So the doctor came, and that actually took quite a while. But still, a little bit later, the doctor came, and like in the time, Peter remembered, like, well, my leader said, when you get captured, say your name, your rank, and your military number. So that's what he did. The doctor asked, like, so let us recover all the memories you had, or let us actually write down everything that happened. But Peter refused to say anything else but his name, his rank, and his number. So much about that. So I don't know if you enjoyed it. It was kind of like, how should I say it? It was kind of short, I guess. I'm not that good at making a summary. So actually, there was quite a lot happening to the story, and I will post a link to it down in the description below. But if you want to read for yourself the full story. But I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm still practicing and stuff, but I hope you still enjoyed it. And also, I had to keep my voice down a little bit because, my microphone is doing stupid things right now, and it's recording really loud, so I had to change something about that. But so I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate some feedback, like vocal feedback or in form of comments. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, I will see you guys around. Bye.